They even dress alike. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are those who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Revelation 14, verse 12. Most thoughtful readers of the Bible recognize that God asks obedience of his people. But that recognition sometimes leads to distorted thinking about the nature of obedience. It is easy to read a passage from the Bible, like today's verse, and come to the conclusion that God guards the gates of heaven with a checklist and clipboard, only admitting people who earn enough obedience points to warrant admission. Anything less, you're out. We're saved by grace, not by works. None of us are ever good enough on our own merit to warrant entry into heaven. No one. The first problem with this point of view is its misunderstanding of the character of God. It is nearly impossible to study the cross of Christ and come to the conclusion that God is in the business of trying to keep people out of his kingdom. If he died to cover the sins of the world, if he weeps at the thought of those who are lost, the 144,000 is not a literal number. Heaven doesn't have a vacancy sign with partial illumination of no in front of it. Why would he give a gift of such magnitude, the life of his son, only to subsequently try and find ways to bar you from his kingdom? The second problem has to do with motivation. God's people do not keep his commandments merely out of obligation. To be sure, there are days when you do what you know to be right, even if you don't feel like it. After all, the practice of love is a decision. The practice of love is a decision, not an emotion. And true love for Christ is guided by principle rather than mere feeling. But we do not obey God to earn merit points on God's checklist. The real motivation is found earlier in Revelation 14. We have the Father's names written on our foreheads. Again, not literally, it's not a tattoo. Our interests have become so wrapped up in his that his character becomes a part of who we are. And we naturally begin to reflect his will in our own lives. Our longing to be with him is so profound that we follow the Lamb wherever he goes. Pay attention to older couples. You will notice something interesting. They have spent so much time in each other's presence that they may even begin to dress alike. That is why God's people keep his commandments. They have basked in his presence so long that his moral law becomes a part of who they are. Spend time with Jesus. A preacher friend of mine used to say, and you will begin to love the things you used to hate and hate the things you used to love.